Hi, in this webinar, we are going to discuss the new features introduced in Qntrl version 3.0 and how it will help its users. Number 1. The primary navigation of Qntrl is now moved to the left pane. Here you can access your processes, your assigned tasks, your reports, and also the options in the settings page. The previous version offered all these options in the top bar. Number 2. Orchestrations are now called boards. A board is basically a process, and you can access all your existing processes from the left pane in this list. To create a process, you can click on the plus icon, and as you create a process, you can create it from scratch or from an existing template. We offer you a variety of templates across different verticals that's visible in this left pane. Now as you swap between these options, you can see the template that you find useful and create a process based out of it. The previous version, on the other hand, had you create a process from the settings page by going to settings orchestration, and you can create an orchestration from here, the form and the blueprint. The new version allows any user to go to the boards tab and create a process from there. This gives full power to the user to allow them to create a process that they may work on for their personal needs, and also invite users to work on the process along with them. Number 3. All settings are now moved to boards. When you create a board, you can create a form and a blueprint, but along with that, you can also now add users, manage their permissions, and create other automation options like business rules, public forms, field conditions, email templates, and email-in configurations. In the previous version, you'd have to go to the settings page and access the left pane options to create these automations. And this has been much more streamlined and made intuitive by setting it up on a process-wise basis. However, admins can still go to settings and set up these automations as well. Number 4. Card view enhancements. Along with the list and Kanban view, a new view is introduced called as the dashboard view. This view shows the overview and progress of all cards of the board and allows you to track its status. The list view now supports resizing of columns. The Kanban view now supports sorting and rearrangement of columns. Number 5. Connected cards. Previously, in the 2.0 version of Qntrl, in order to create a sub-card, the user would have to set up a custom function in a transition or a business rule or through a scheduler to create the card automatically. In order to solve this problem, Qntrl 3.0 has come up with connected cards. Connected cards can be set up in various ways. Typically, it can be set up right within the board, or it can be created through a transition. Let's say a transition was complete and this action in the blueprints transition should create another card in another process. We can set up a connected card. We can also set up connected cards through business rule triggers. So let's say when a card reaches the final stage in the workflow, you want the system to create another card in another process without relation with the blueprint, then a business rule can be set up to create a card. And not only can you create a connected card that can also sync the fields with each other, because that's the primary property of a connected card, we can also create a standalone card which will simply create another card in another process, but the fields and all the properties of the cards are not linked with each other. When you create a connected card, you can set up an existing configuration that you've already set up for this board, or set up a new configuration from scratch. You can choose the related board to which the connected card has to be created, and then choose who has to be marked as the requester or the creator of the connected card. Once that's set up, you're then taken to the screen to map the fields that has to be synced with each other. Hit save once you've loaded and chosen all your fields between each card. Card connections can also be set up from an existing card. Open up the card of your preference, click on Configure Connected Card on the top right corner, and set up the existing card connection configuration that you have already set up. The connected cards that you have set up will show up at the bottom in the Connected Card section. You can use the tree view to see the list of connected cards that you have connected with the parent. You can use the stage view to track the status and its link between the connected cards, and the history that shows the connected cards activities. Number 6. Introducing light users. In the previous version of Qntrl, admins found it difficult to add external users, vendors, or even customers to the Qntrl portal. As a result, it became difficult for the admins to have these users collaborate inside cards. This has been solved in the newer version of Qntrl, where these unlicensed users can be added as light users. These users can only raise requests and view and work on their assigned cards. When the light user logs into the portal, can raise a new request or view their existing assigned request. They can then perform the transition or go to the form and then add comments. Number 7, external user transition. When an external user added as a light user accesses the portal, they can raise new cards as requests or also access their existing assigned cards. Opening as such, they can perform transitions in the card, view and interact with the form, or also add comments. Number 8, email transitions. Your users can now perform their transitions directly from their email notifications. When building the email template as an administrator, ensure to select the transition placeholder next to allowed transitions within the template. This sends the transition to the targeted user or the transition performer. The transition performer can click the transition within the email to perform it directly. Number 9, process development sandbox. The new version of Qntrl allows users to create temporary sandbox portals. These portals allow users to create processes and make changes in the settings page, and all these changes can then be deployed to the production portal later. The benefit of doing it this way allows admins to continue with their testing, so the live users are not affected by the process changes. The sandbox comes with powerful repository management, version control, and change merging functionalities. Any change introduced in the processes or in the settings are added as a commit to a queue. Every item in the queue can be reviewed and be selectively synced to the production portal. This makes the process of introducing changes much more systematic. Additionally, Qntrl now allows the superadmin to run the production portal in read-only mode. This prevents any change from being introduced into the production portal, encouraging admins to introduce changes through Sandbox alone. Other minor changes. Schedulers now not only allow you to execute functions, but also create cards. The server script module is now renamed as Codex. It's basically the same feature. You may find that the Fields tab is no longer visible under the customization settings. That's because in the previous version, fields were created as global entities across orchestrations. In the newer version, you create a field unique to a board. You can add or manage your fields by editing the board. That's all from me for this webinar. Thank you.